Hey guys, I want to let you know that our medical gear is back in stock. You can find it at tacticalrifleman.com. We've got Cat 7 tourniquets. You know you need to have one of them, but we also got our TR EDC med kits. These are vacuum sealed, packed by North American Rescue. They have got their 4-inch mini responder dressing, a 2-pack of hyphen vented chest seals, roll of 100 inches of 100-mile-an-hour tape, duct tape for sealing those wounds and stuff, set of large gloves, and then if you get the basic kit, it's got a roll of compressed gauze, literally a whole roll of gauze for packing wounds in that little pack right there, vacuum sealed. If you go with the advanced kit, it is filled with quick clot gauze. Same thing, it's gauze, it's just impregnated with the quick clot agent. Again, good stuff, vacuum sealed, approved by TSA to carry on planes, going to schools, kids' book bags, whatever. You can check them out at tacticalrifleman.com. Go to our store there. Hey guys, I want to let you know that our medical gear is back in stock. You can find it at tacticalrifleman.com. We've got Cat 7 tourniquets. You know you need to have one of them, but we also got our TR EDC med kits. These are vacuum sealed, packed by North American Rescue. They have got their 4-inch mini responder dressing, a 2-pack of hyphen vented chest seals, roll of 100 inches of 100-mile-an-hour tape, duct tape for sealing those wounds and stuff, set of large gloves, and then if you get the basic kit, it's got a roll of compressed gauze, literally a whole roll of gauze for packing wounds in that little pack right there, vacuum sealed. If you go with the advanced kit, it is filled with quick clot gauze. Same thing, it's gauze, it's just impregnated with the quick clot agent. Again, good stuff, vacuum sealed, approved by TSA to carry on planes, going to schools, kids' book bags, whatever. You can check them out at tacticalrifleman.com. Go to our store there. Hey guys, I want to let you know that our medical gear is back in stock. You can find it at tacticalrifleman.com. We've got Cat 7 tourniquets. You know you need to have one of them, but we also got our TR EDC med kits. These are vacuum sealed, packed by North American Rescue. They have got their 4-inch mini responder dressing, a 2-pack of hyphen vented chest seals, roll of 100 inches of 100-mile-an-hour tape, duct tape for sealing those wounds and stuff, set of large gloves, and then if you get the basic kit, it's got a roll of compressed gauze, literally a whole roll of gauze for packing wounds in that little pack right there, vacuum sealed. If you go with the advanced kit, it is filled with quick clot gauze. Same thing, it's gauze, it's just impregnated with the quick clot agent. Again, good stuff, vacuum sealed, approved by TSA to carry on planes, going to schools, kids' book bags, whatever. You can check them out at tacticalrifleman.com. Go to our store there. Hey guys, I want to let you know that our medical gear is back in stock. You can find it at tacticalrifleman.com. We've got cat servant tourniquets. You know you need to have one of them, but we also got our TR EDC med kits. These are vacuum sealed, packed by North American Rescue. They have got their 4-inch mini responder dressing, a 2-pack of hyphen vented chest seals, roll of 100 inches of 100-mile-an-hour tape, duct tape for sealing those wounds and stuff, set of large gloves, and then if you get the basic kit, it's got a roll of compressed gauze, literally a whole roll of gauze for packing wounds in that little pack right there, vacuum sealed. If you go with the advanced kit, it is filled with quick clot gauze. Same thing, it's gauze, it's just impregnated with the quick clot agent. Again, good stuff, vacuum sealed, approved by TSA to carry on planes, going to schools, kids' book bags, whatever. You can check them out at tacticalrifleman.com. Go to our store there. Hey guys, I want to let you know that our medical gear is back in stock. You can find it at tacticalrifleman.com. We've got cat servant tourniquets. You know you need to have one of them, but we also got our TR EDC med kits. These are vacuum sealed, packed by North American Rescue. They have got their 4-inch mini responder dressing, a 2-pack of hyphen vented chest seals, roll of 100 inches of 100-mile-an-hour tape, duct tape for sealing those wounds and stuff, set of large gloves, and then if you get the basic kit, it's got a roll of compressed gauze, literally a whole roll of gauze for packing wounds in that little pack right there, vacuum sealed. If you go with the advanced kit, it is filled with quick clot gauze. Same thing, it's gauze, it's just impregnated with the quick clot agent. Again, good stuff, vacuum sealed, approved by TSA to carry on planes, going to schools, kids' book bags, whatever. You can check them out at Tactical Rifleman.
Coming right there.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. I'm gonna put my mic on right here. I just got back from Taco Tuesday, which is also Fat Tuesday, right? Because everybody is, they got Lent starts tomorrow, so you got everybody that's planning on giving up alcohol tomorrow. They're all trying to get their last couple of drinks in, but that's okay. I'm thinking about giving up creamer in my coffee. I actually did that last year and sucked. It really did suck. So I could give up alcohol pretty easy. That'd be easier than creamer. Because that's some good coffee right there, but it would still be good. It's because you started with the 8 shots of espresso, but you understand it's that frothed Italian sweet cream that really makes that stuff magical. I don't want to spill it on the laptop here. Anyways, we got a great live stream set up for you guys. I hope you guys can hear me okay. This is the part where my moderators are gonna say, JT, can you and Donut hear me okay? All right, I'm hoping that you can. Guys, we got Steve Holland here tonight, and you know, it's always awesome having Steve here. We haven't had him the last couple of live streams and stuff, but it's always great to have Steve here. He actually just brought me back that MCR, that belt-fed AR upper, because we've got Battle Rifle 1 next Friday. Not this week, next week. And Day before that's Carbine Zero Mastery, and then we got Pistol Carbine. Those classes are at Montgomery County Shooting Complex in Tennessee, just south of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So if you want to fly into Nashville, it's about an hour north of Nashville. All those classes are on sale. Again, those are at Montgomery County Shooting Complex. They start not yesterday, but they start Monday. This Monday coming up is Combat Pistol. That's our introductory to combat shooting. We have, I still have a few slots left for that. I got the local SWAT team coming from Hopkinsville. I have a new officer from Trigg County, City of Cadiz. I've got another, I got a bunch of great people coming, Kyle Beeler's coming. I believe Kyle is signed up for that. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we're doing our pistol carbine course and pistol carbine, right? Pistol carbine. Everybody loves pistol carbine, right? Pistol carbine is we start. We immediately get right into carbine, and then we start getting into transitions to pistols and everything. That night is that night we do a night shoot, so because it's a 2-day course, right? You guys are all there anyways. Why not stay? And then the next day we get into shooting while moving and turning drills and shooting around barricades and or shooting around vehicles and stuff like that. We wrap up the afternoon with a nice stress test, and that is probably our hands down most popular class. We've sold the most slots to that. But again, I've got slots open for that one. And then Thursday is Carbine Zero Mastery. And guys, I don't have anybody signed up for it. I got a few. Don't get me wrong. I've got the class is like half full, but it just drives me nuts because that is the class. Everybody can do pew pew. Admit it. You guys can take your AR. You can go to the range. And you guys can do pew pew. You're fine at 7 meters with an AR. You're fine at 25 meters with an AR. It's a rifle. You can't really screw it up, guys. But when me and Z started teaching our advanced pistol carbine course, the advanced course, what we found was the first 2 hours of the first day's 2-day course, first 2 hours we went over point blank zero and why we zero at 200 meters, so your bullet doesn't rise more than 5 inches or drop more than 5 inches. So you just put it on the center of the head of the bad guy from 5 meters to basically 240 meters, and you're gonna hit somewhere in a head-sized target. Makes sense, right? That's why the military, that's why special ops units use a 200-meter point blank zero. Okay, makes sense. But what we found was we were pissing away the whole morning of an advanced pistol carbine class. We were pissing away a quarter of the class, getting everybody zeroed. And we found it wasn't that so much that guys were showing up unzeroed. Everybody thought their guns were zeroed. They honestly thought that their guns were zeroed. And so it's a quick confirmed zero. Yeah, quick confirmation of your zero. That should have been 2 hours, right? No, we would piss away the whole morning. And what we realized was it's not that people didn't want to zero, people didn't really know how to zero. So we thought about it, we're like, well, we need a half-day class just on how to zero. And nobody's gonna sign up for a half-day class. Let's add a bunch of stuff from our tactical precision rifle class. Let's get into gathering data. The first half of the day is point blank zero of your gun, all right? Because when you hit at 200, where it crosses line of sight, you know, a lot of people will say it's 36 meters or it's 50 meters. It depends what your height over bore, weight of your bullet, muzzle velocity, all that. That's what matters. It might be 36 meters, it might be 50 meters, it might be 38, it might be 42, it might be 51. What's more important than it being zeroed at 36, because you're not going to miss at 36 meters, what's more important is you hitting at 200, and everything in between. And so anyways, we made a whole day class called Carbine Zero Mastery. And that's one of those classes that you pay for it once and you're leaving with a gun that has data all the way out to 400 meters. Right? You're not just zeroed at 200. You know your holdovers all the way out to 400 meters. You can run a red dot. You can run a low power variable optic. You can run a EOTech with a magnifier. I don't care. You can run a course with iron sights. We've had people do it with iron sights because you're zeroing your carbine. But nobody wants to sign up for it because everybody says, Carl, I already know how to zero my guns. Yeah, but then you show up at the classes without your gun zeroed. So anyways, that's next Thursday. I love that class. It's very, very relaxed. We shoot 5-round shot groups all day long, and we learn. And we learn about our weapon system, and we learn about our holdovers. And it's a good time. And what that sets us up for is the grand finale, which is Friday. Friday is Battle Rifle 1. And I know everybody wants to do pew-pew. Right? Come take pistol carbine. Come take pistol class, but you understand you're shooting out to basically 50 meters. You'll shoot a little bit at 100 at steel, but 90% of your shooting's at 25 meters and less, pistol distances. So Battle Rifle 1, why would you let the bad guys get within pistol distance of you? If you know your gun's good out to 400 meters, why would you let them get within 7 meters of you? Why would you do that? Why? It just doesn't make any sense, right? So, and we had a lot of requests from people that want to do shoot, move, communicate, right? They want to do more team stuff and everything. So I built Battle Rifle 1 as a predecessor of Battle Rifle 2. Battle Rifle 2, you're going to get into working as a team and movements of this, that, and the other. Bounding fire teams, all kinds of fun stuff. But Battle Rifle 1, I made a list of, hey, what for them to do Battle Rifle 2, what do I want them to understand and have mastered before they do Battle Rifle 2? And so the targets are 50 to 300 meters. You're shooting steel almost the whole time. And your closest target's 50 meters. And you're shooting 50 to 300 all day long. And we get into talking about working as a team and the different duties in the team to include that your automatic rifleman. His job is to keep the enemy's heads down so that the rest of the guys on your team can lay down effective fire. All right? He's laying down suppressive fire. Everybody else is doing effective fire. Well, everybody's doing this, laying on the ground, sucking their thumbs. The guys that are not being shot at, your guys, can then shoot those head-sized targets. Makes sense, right? So we get into that. And to demonstrate that, we have the MCR. A lot of the students are going to be bringing green tip ammo with them. And then I've got the link. And at lunch, they can link all their ammo together. Because I'm not doing the demonstrations. The students in class do the demonstration. And then after that, we get into talking about, right, because that's the automatic rifleman in your team. We get into talking about having a designated marksman on your team. He's that guy that's got that bipod on the gun, that low power variable optic. Maybe he's got that thermal. If you've only got one suppressor and one thermal on your team, you want that to be on your guy, on your precision rifle guy, so that while everybody else is just making noise, he can be over on the side actually getting well-placed shots and saving the day. That's the guy that gets all the kills on the battlefield. All right, that's just the truth. And anyways, it's a great class. I put a lot of work into that one too. So anyways, that class, Battle Rifle 1, is next Friday. But all next week, Emory's coming in. Emory is in country. Randy Rawhide Worst is going to be there. I got a bunch of great patrons that are coming to class already. We even have Crystal Leglet coming down from Connecticut, of all places. She's one of our patrons. And she is going, she's going to come to America. She gets that passport stamped when she lands in Nashville. And she's welcome at the class. She's going to have a great time. Yeah, indeed, she's going to have a good time. I'm excited about it. I love this class. I really do look forward to it. We get done with that, and then what do you call it? Then me and Emery got a couple of days, and we're going down to Florida. We're going to film we got an ammo sponsor that provides ammo for our classes and our videos and stuff. And we're going to film a tour of their ammo factory and some other stuff. We're going to go tour another range it's a private range in Florida to possibly do future classes there also. But from there, we are going to round canopy parachuting team in Palatka, Florida. And you guys heard me talk about it. I got my little video on my plate in the background where we're talking about it. You guys remember me and Emery and my son Nicholas, we went, that's Ashley, that's David Duenas' daughter. We went to Normandy, France this past June for the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. Ashley was scared to death about hitting a sheep on the ground. She really was. But we had Kyle Lamb there. We had a whole bunch of VIPs. And anyways, we loaded up 4 of these old World War II airplanes, the C-47s. And we had a good time with my son Nicholas, David Duenas, the proud father, with his daughter Ashley. And you can see that wedding ring on Ashley's finger right there. You know, no, it's not there. The guy still hasn't gotten her an engagement ring yet. Right, kids coming up on like 3 years old already. Anyways, there's the airplanes, guys. Us going out to the airplanes. Anyways, it was a completely magical jump. It really was, and yeah, I can't say enough about it. We had a great time. So if you guys are interested in jumping, you don't have to go to Normandy, France. You guys can literally come down to Palatka, Florida, and you sign up with this jump club down there called Round Canopy Parachuting Team USA.org. They're a nonprofit. That was Frank Caslin. He is my safety on the plane. I'm the jump master. But Frank Caslin is my safety for my flight. And anyways, we're going back down there the week after our classes. So we're about, 2.5 weeks away from going there. 30 seconds. I'm getting ready. My son is my #1 jumper. Is that not cool? All right, follow me. All right, I'm checking that spot. We got that beautiful Mount St. Michel castle out there. There goes Emery out. Got a couple twists, not too bad. Here's the deal. You could bump your head going out that door. You could completely pass out. You're still going to land nice and soft because that's the way the military built these parachutes. Anyways, it's a great time. And Leif LeBlanc and Chris Smith. And we've had so many members of the Tactical Rifleman family just come out and meet us, break bread with us down there in Palatka, Florida. If you want to jump, you can sign up at rcptusa.org. If you just want to come down to Palatka and hang out with us. That's what my wife does. My wife's not going up in the plane. But Nicholas is coming down. We are going to film a video. I have volunteered to be a squad leader. And yeah, I'm going to be one of the guys putting all the students through airborne school. My son is going to record it from start to finish. Them getting their first, their second, their third jump. But that 5th jump, booyah, Grandma. Emery didn't die. Emery didn't die at all, did he? Emery didn't die. Emery did not die. All right, but after that, we're going to put all the students out of that C-47 World War II airplane. My wife is going to be on the ground laughing her butt off at me, and me and my son and Emery and all the rest of the TR team that's there, we're going to fill that plane. We're going to film it from the inside, just like we did here. Ain't that cool? That's pretty cool. So anyways, we go straight from there. And we come back here, and we got 2 days to repack the target trailer, and then we drive to Texas. And Texas, more classes in Texas. Combat Pistol 101, that's our intro to combat shooting, but then Pistol Carbine. Pistol Carbine, that's our bread and butter course, guys. And you'd be a fool not to take pistol first, because Pistol Carbine builds off a pistol. But Pistol Carbine's on a weekend. If you guys are in Texas and you're interested in taking the class, we still have slots available. And again, that is in Texas. They're starting to fill up, but they are. I've still got slots left. So if you're in the mood, the weather's going to be a little warmer down there. That is the first week of April. And I'm excited about that one. We come back from there, drive all the way back, and get back here. I've got, I think, 3 days, again, to repack the target trailer. But from there, we go to tactical precision rifle. Now, Emery was a special ops breacher. Emery was not a sniper. So I'm actually giving Emery a slot. He's going to be going through that course as a student. And me and my other instructors, I'm bringing in combat decorated snipers for this. We're doing this one at Cedar Creek Precision in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, just east of Fort Campbell on the Kentucky side. Beautiful range. We can get out past 1,000 meters there. And great class. I call it tactical precision rifle. I'm not teaching dynamic bench rest for your competition precision rifle guys. Don't get me wrong. All the fundamentals apply to competition shooting, but we are teaching tactical precision rifle. So, and we'll cover all the environmental effects on the external ballistics of your gun. And what I mean by that, guys, is everybody thinks wind. Yeah, wind moves a bullet. I got that. But what a lot of people don't realize is a 20-degree temperature change changes that your trajectory of your bullet, 1 minute of angle, 20 degrees, that's not a lot, right? So you zero your gun, that deer rifle, it's 70 degrees out, and now you go to, let's say, Montana, and it's 30 degrees out. That's 40 degrees cooler. That's 2 minutes of angle. You understand, if you're shooting at a 600-meter bull elk, 2 minutes of angle, that's 12 inches. You just missed by 12 inches. Oh, by the way, depending on where you zeroed your gun, if you're at 8,000 feet, for every 1,000 feet increase, the air is getting thinner as you go up. Again, for every 1,000 feet, it's another minute of angle. So if you've got 3,000 foot elevation change and that 40 degrees temperature change, that's 5 minutes of angle. That's 30 inches. You understand? You've missed that bull elk, that trophy of a lifetime. And we'll get into shooting on the assault countdown and a bunch of other stuff. It's a 2-day class. The first night, I bring out all the thermals. I bring out I-squared, clip-ons to put on your actual rifles if you've got a rail on your gun. But I also bring out dedicated night vision, that upper that's got a dedicated Gen 3 I-squared on it, or that upper that's got a dedicated 6 or 8X thermal on it. And you'll see it's really, really badass. It really is. And it was just a good time. That class is on sale, by the way. So if you were to go to tacticalrifleman.com and sign up for that class, I'm going to save you 20%, guys. That's a big deal. It really is. All right. I haven't heard from JT, so I'm going to assume that the live stream is still running. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully can you guys hear me okay? I'm hoping, because my sound bar on the screen is moving. I just haven't gotten anything from my moderators yet. What I mean by that, guys, is let's say you've you got a question, because that's what live streams are for. If you've got a question, Steve's hitting ahead. He'll be right back in here in just a minute. He just walked behind the camera. That's good coffee. If you guys have questions, you can put a super chat in, but you don't have to. All right, thank you, Philip. He just said 5 by 5. All right, JT, you're still live. Thank you, JT. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat room, and then my moderators will pull them out, and I'll get some questions from you guys. Thank you, Donut. I see that. Everybody is giving me sound checks, which is awesome. No questions yet. You're still live. I guess that means I can keep running my mouth. All right. I have other stuff to talk about, guys. Indeed, I could easily chew you guys' ear off nonstop. All right. So I talked about, how you doing, Steve? I'm going to give Steve 3 more minutes, guys. I talked about what we're doing in April, right? Texas, and then the precision rifle here in Kentucky. Second half of April, you got the NRA convention in there. We were trying to put together a class in Florida. Me and Emory have decided to wait on that. I'm trying to also put together another class in Indiana for a law enforcement group. Hopefully that pans out. But the beginning of May is Mountain Readiness Expo. I got a little teaser video. This is the highlights from 2024. We'll play it for you guys. I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. I got the sound down on it. All right. Mountain Readiness Expo, and you can sign up at mountainreadiness.com. It's done at a fairgrounds. We're going to be camping out there. Most people camp out there, but a lot of people stay at the local hotels. They're doing slaughtering chickens and all kinds of stuff, how to prepare slaughtered pigs. And that's me doing a women's only AR-15 class. We had a blast. We really did. So anyways, Randy Wurst is coming. He's doing a bunch of survival classes. We are going to do off-road vehicle recovery. You know, how not to get stuck. And then if you do get stuck, how do you recover? All right, we're going to talk about how to use tow ropes, static ropes versus kinetic ropes, how to use a high lift jack, how to use, that's me holding a shackle. All right, but yeah, we'll get into doing winches and all kinds of fun stuff. It is a good time indeed. All right, so guys, we got Steve Holland, the legend. There's your mic right there. How you doing, Steve?
Doing good, brother. Good, brother. Tactical Rifleman. How you guys doing?
We are going to.
Thinking about you guys.
I gotta turn that
all the time.
A little bit.
And all you guys that
I need more Steve action in the picture.
And you guys in contact with me. I appreciate you guys constantly, sharing things with me sharing with you. Makes me feel, like I'm part of something, even though I am part of something. I enjoy it. I'm not going to even start with the names, but I enjoy it all the time, all you guys. So keep in mind that if you text me and I don't answer you right away, it's either I'm busy or I don't like you. No, I'm kidding, because I wouldn't give you my number if I didn't like you. So it's good to be here. Give you a shout out. Shout out to all you guys in the chat room.
See, they call it instant messaging, but to us it's text.
No.
We'll get to you eventually.
No, I actually text.
Yeah.
No, not only
I know, but
the Instagram stuff, the messenger stuff.
Yeah, but people get mad if you don't reply right away. Yeah. Oh my God! And I see people there like, oh, you got to like his picture. Why? We're like, well, if you don't like it, if you don't click the heart, it means you didn't like it. No, that's not what it means. It just means I'm moving. It means I've got other stuff to do. You understand? I can't like everybody's stuff. If I don't like your stuff, you'll usually get a comment out of me. You'll get, for example, you can send me a 10,000 word text or a 10,000 word email, and you'll probably get the reply back. One of two things. You'll get back the word cool, which means
yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I got it. or you'll get awesome, which means yes. That's about it. You can type 10,000 words, but you ain't getting 10,000 words out of me, not at all. But if I don't like something, I will usually click reply, and I'll give you a reply, because the reality is, one, there's too many people out there that have never been punched in the face, number one. But number two, people have gotten so comfortable inside their phones, and they think it's okay to just say and do whatever they want. They got to understand that there are repercussions, and they trust that nobody is ever gonna just go against their opinion. We've gotten to the point where we don't want to hurt other people's feelings. We want to avoid those conversations. And
one of the interesting parts of this whole smartphone instant contact thing is, guys say, "Hey man, I called you." I said, "Yeah, I saw your call come in. I was busy." Or they say, "Hey, I sent you a text." I said, "Yeah, I saw it, but I was busy." He said, "Yeah, but I texted you like 6 or 7 hours ago." I said, "Yeah, and I read your text, and I was busy for 6 or 7 hours." So it's just not me. And sometimes I wouldn't even have my phone. I'll leave my phone in the house. If I'm outside doing something, I'll leave my phone in the house.
I know when Steve wakes up, because Steve will wake up, he goes and sits on the shitter, and he opens up Facebook and TikTok, and he sits on the shitter and he starts going through these things, and he finds some of the most random ass shit that's ever been put out, and he will immediately send that link to one of his groups on. It's a text group. He's got one called Alphas, and it's got some awesome people in it. It's got Don Alexander, who's like a legend in the SF community. It's got Travis Ralph, a legend in the SF community. It's got Randy Rawhide Worse, a legend in the SF community. And then for whatever reason, Steve put me in there. So I just kind of keep my mouth shut. But I'm in that chat room, and he'll send it every morning as soon as he's on the shitter. But then he also has another chat room, text room, with like Z Durham and all these other guys, and he'll put it in there also, completely forgetting that me and Randy are in both of them. So, and every morning, me and Randy, we get the same message from Steve Holland, and me and Randy will just text each other. Yeah, I guess Steve's up. Steve's awake. Right now he's inside Steve's head. You see that smile, right? Inside his head, he's like, that son of a gun. I cannot believe he just said that. But you know why Steve's saying that? Because Steve's remembering this morning when he sent it to me, he remembers he was sitting on the shitter. I love you, buddy. You know I do. Steve, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't fuck with you. That's true. If SF guys don't like you, you don't exist to us. Literally, there'll be that one guy in the unit that like people will walk right through, like the guy doesn't even exist, and then he'll leave the unit. He'll go somewhere else. So yeah, if we're messing with you, we love you. I love Steve. Steve knows I love him. Dude, I see you brought a stock cushion and a couple boxes of Yamo. I'm waiting for JT's got a couple. I see. I got a couple $20 super chats. They must not be questions, otherwise he would send them to me. He says everybody's being polite, waiting for me to quit talking about classes. I have a polite group here. I do indeed. All right, Steve. Those are 4570s. Yeah. Guys, I own a couple of lever guns. I got one lever gun that's a 410 called the Axe. It doesn't even have a stock on it. It's made for like to have on the side of your Harley. But it's hard to find 410 ammo. And then I've got a lever gun that is in 5.56 of all things. It takes a little magazine made by Henry, beautiful little gun. And I did a video about that. But I got another lever action, my favorite one. It's my boss, again, Henry, but it's a 357 Magnum because that's what John Wayne, he used to rock a lever gun in pistol rounds, take the same rounds as his pistol. Nah, all these guys, Randy, Byron Russell's wife, she's got a 45-70. Steve Holland, he's got a 45-70. I'm the only walking vagina with a lever gun and pistol rounds. They give me shit for it, but I'm sorry, I don't own a 45-70. If I got to go big, Steve, I'm gonna just bring the Barrett out, semi-auto with 10-round mag. Does that count as a large caliber? Large caliber. Funny stuff. All right.
I wonder if anybody's ever made a lever action in 50 cal.
All right, we got a couple super chats in here. Steve's back from blowing his nose. I love you, Steve. John Brady threw down 20 bone. Small donation just to say thanks, you all. Take care, John Brady. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. And then Stephen Rogers threw down 20 bones, a little bit for the TR family. Guys, I appreciate that. I do indeed. All right, no questions, so that's all right. All right, so Steve, what do you want to talk about? The floor is yours, buddy.
Well, what I want to talk about is, if I can
Your mic.
get this all sorted out, is you guys know we're fortunate enough to have a good friend in Jeff Hoffman, who's the owner of
You gotta let me have one.
Black Hills Ammunition, and we stay in touch with Jeff on any new developments they have going. Sometimes what's a new development to us is like something old to them because they did it 9-10 months ago, and we've been going through their selection of ammo. As you guys know, I first met Jeff when I was in service as the combat developer for 5th Group, and we were developing the Mark 12 SPR, and I started a program to do 77 grain ammunition for all our warfighters. And of all the things I've done in that 12-year stint at 5th Group for combat development, two things happened so fast that it really surprised me, because sometimes these things take years. I'm talking years. The two things that I was able to do within 6 months was the Mark 262 77 grain ammunition and having our weapons approved that we could paint them in a different color, which I can spend all night explaining to you why the Army doesn't allow you to paint weapons.
We weren't allowed to paint our guns, guys. We weren't.
You could paint them, but when you sent them back, they had to be at what they call 2010 standard, which was as issued. So I discovered one night doing a night vision shoot that you couldn't see the back side of the 18-inch silhouette, which the front side was green. And the guy said, hey, I can't see targets in this lane and that lane. I said, well, they're up. And that's when we realized that that color, which we eventually became flat dark earth, coyote brown, was something that you couldn't see through nods. So I started that with the Mark 12 program and the SFLCS, Special Forces Load Carrying System. And the Mark 262 ammo, I talk for hours, the frustration of working with organizations, military ammo organizations, and getting them to adopt something, to create something, give it a DODAC, which is in itself. I'm so glad that Doji is out there fixing some of these problems in the government, because they just, being who they are, families, generations, these people working in all these labs and ammo depots and stuff like that, they resist anything new if it didn't come from them. Crane, Rock Island, Picatinny Arsenal, and to get the Mark 262 ammo adopted and National Stock Number DODIC, the whole thing, and into the ammunition supply was amazing for 6 months. I mean, it blew me away. So
The Gustache threw down 5 bones. Steve, we love you.
Thanks, Gustache. I love you too, brother.
And then Peter from Hong Kong threw down 10.
The Shuckles.
Hong Kong Shuckles. Pete here, Flux Defense braces, overall thoughts. Flux Defense braces. You ever use one, Steve? I'm not a big brace guy. Honest, Peter, sorry. I've never even heard the brand Flux.
Is he talking about a pistol brace? Yeah, the new. Remember the ATF outlawed?
I got that. Yeah, the ATF wanted to do away with short-barreled rifles, but I've never heard of the Flux Defense one.
Right. So I met Jeff Hoffman when they submitted to the Fed Biz Ops announcement on pending contract for 5.56 and 77 grade. Normally, you would see the big companies step in like Remington and Federal and Hornady. Black Hills is a small company. Look them up on the internet. I'm going to do all your work for you. And they won the contract, and they've been running Mark 262 since about 2004 when we did the Mark 12 program. Kudos to Troy Lawton.
What kind of ammo was Moorhead shooting in 2001?
That wasn't 2001. That was 2005.
Oh, that was 2005? Okay.
Yeah. That was Mark 262.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Moorhead is a hero to us, Special Forces hero. God bless him. Granted him eternity in the kingdom of heaven. He won a Silver Star running a Mark 12 Mod Zero in Afghanistan. And long story short, he cleaned house all night long.
Yeah.
All night long.
When it came through the next morning and we're checking all the dead bodies of the Taliban at the bottom of the hill, there was a lot of them that hadn't been shot. Because gunfight was coming from down the hill, but they ended up checking them, and they had all been shot through the side, and by this little single 5.56 rounds on each guy, and he was using like Steve said, a Mod Zero, shooting the 77 grain 262 ammo.
So basically, when the firefight started and they were coming up the ravine, he got off to the right flank. I don't know, maybe 200, 250 yards in the rocks. And he was running I want to say a PVS, I can't remember the night sights we used back then, with the Mark 12 Ops Inc. Phil Seeberger suppressor.
Yeah.
And every time one of the guys would stand up to fire their PK or shoot an RPG, he would pop them right under the left armpit. And they, because of it's a two-way battle, they never figured out that there was someone off to their left flank with a suppressed gun dropping them. They thought these guys were getting hit from incoming fire up top of the hillside.
Yeah. And
so Kevin just, in light call, Kevin was an 18 Delta. He was a medic. So he got a medic sniper. Okay? Hey, I'll shoot you, take you out, but if I don't take you out, I'll fix you up. And Black Hills got the contract for that ammunition, and they're not a household name in ammunition, but to us in the SF community, they are a household name. We appreciate everything they do.
We wouldn't even say 262. We said 77 Black Hills. That was what you said. I said, hey, you got any Black Hills ammo? Hey, we need another can of Black Hills. They were the guys that were making it for us. Yeah.
And the most interesting thing about Jeff to me is his background is law enforcement, and I'm not talking about he was a law enforcement officer for a couple of years and then started an ammunition company. His law enforcement officer started an ammunition company, and for almost 18, 19 years continued to be a law enforcement officer, SWAT sniper, and I think he's still on the reserve. So his wife basically runs the company, and he's just a great guy to work with. Anything they come out with, I always say, Jeff, what you got, what's new? And one of the things they came out with is the Honey Badger line of ammunition. Now, if you guys remember previously, I previewed their 9mm Honey Badger, the 45 ACP Honey Badger, the 44 Magnum Honey Badger. And tonight, we are previewing their new line, share with you guys, and we are going to make some actual videos firing the ammunition.
Is that not badass, guys? That shit is badass.
This is
that, guys. That's freaking ridiculous, is it not? That's some ridiculous shit right there. Oh yeah, that'd hurt. We're gonna shoot some gel blocks with this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is just the beginning. And if you guys are familiar with the performance of the Honey Badger ammo, it's phenomenal. And your standard 4570 load is a 405 grain lead flat point bullet, 405 grains at about 900 feet per second. Yeah. Your hunting ammo is normally 350 grain ammo, jacket hollow point at about 1,200 feet per second. This stuff here is a 325 grain alloy copper solid at about 400 feet per second faster. Think about that.
It's gonna knock the snot out.
It's gonna put the beat down on that black UPS truck that's coming up your driveway. Because I always say, make them deploy early. Because if you let them stack on your front door, you're done. You can't beat their tactics.
Thanks, Doc. Doc Elkin threw down 20 for the algorithm. Wesley Durst threw down 10 bones. Good evening, gents. Glad to be able to join y'all tonight. Wesley, we're glad to have you here. All right, indeed. All right, I think I'm caught up. Yep, that's it for right now. I got another one from Annalise and Kyle Beeler. Did either of you ever consider trying out for Delta? Yeah, actually, I was in ANOC, our Advanced Non-Commissioned Officers course. I was in Charlie Company at the time. There was no such thing as a SIF company. A15. Back then, A15 was not the Sinks and Extremist Force for 5th Group. I was up in Charlie Company, regular Whiteside ODA. Went to ANOC, and I had there's 40, 50 people in the class. 2 Delta guys in my class, 2. But one of them I became best friends with, a guy named Rod Gorman. Rod Gorman, awesome guy. And we became good friends. And he's like, hey, you should, he's like, you're not just a medic, you're good, because I like sniper this, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we hit it off. We became real good friends, and he invites me over to, this is towards the end of the class, so we've actually, how long is ANOC? Because it had O&I with it also.
Yeah.
I want to say it's 9 weeks. It's freaking long.
Yeah,
long
it's almost 3 months.
Anyway, so we've been together 3 months. He knows me. I know him. He lives down in Southern Pines, and he invites me over to grill prime rib. I'm like, okay. And so I show up at his house, shake hands. He brings me in the front door, and hey, man, have a seat on the couch. Out of the kitchen comes these Neanderthals, these monster guys. And they're like shorts and like workout T-shirts and everything. And they come in, one sits in the recliner, the other one sits in the other recliner. 2 more sit on the couch, my left and right. And they're like, hey, Carl, nice to meet you. And they all introduced. Turns out they're from Rod Gorman's squadron. And we talk, we bullshit. They're like, yeah, so when'd you go through sniper school? And we start talking, blah, blah, blah. I heard you did this with, you did some direct action stuff with, a guy's name was Chuck Roach. They're like, yeah, we did this DA mission in Bahrain, blah, 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 blah. We're on and on and on. And these guys just question after question after question. I'm like, man, this is going to be an intense little barbecue, and then they all stand up at the same time. They just all look at each other and go, "Oh." And they all just stand up, and one of them goes, "Hey, I'm Rod's squadron commander. You're still gonna have to go to selection, but we want you in our squadron." And I looked at Rod, and I looked at all these guys, and I'm like, "Guys, I appreciate it, but my wife has told me Bragg is an unaccompanied tour. My wife is never going back to Fort Bragg, so I appreciate it, but no thanks." And they all walked out. Me and Rod, we grilled and we had a good time, him and his wife. But my reason for saying that, and I never went through selection. I don't know if I could pass selection. I really don't. I want to think that I could, but
You could.
But I remember I mentioned my wife said Bragg was an unaccompanied tour, and I want this to sink in because a lot of you guys that watch are younger guys. I've lived a very blessed life, and I got to do everything that I wanted to do in life. I did. Now, granted, I set my goals real low, but I could die tomorrow, and I've done everything I wanted to do. You have to have a balance of career and family. I want that to sink in. You have to balance those, because when you put your career first, that family falls apart. And when you put your family first, a lot of times you're not giving your all at work. Now, of course, I wanted to go to Delta, right? Of course I want. Of course, who doesn't want to be best of the best? I get back from ANOC. I wasn't back. I wasn't back 2 weeks. I don't even think I was back a week. I come walking up the steps, and there was this skinny guy outside, a little older than me, and he goes, "Carl," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I am Master Sergeant Cliff Kennebrew. I am the team sergeant of the Halo team in A15. We're the paid Halo team for the battalion." Back then, the battalion only had the company only had the battalion only had one paid Halo team back then, and it was 514, an Alpha company. He's like, "I am the team sergeant for the Halo team, but 5th Group is standing up this new SIF company to work with JSOC, to work with Delta, and we're going to have so many assaulted teams, and we're going to be the Halo sniper team. I need a medic, but I also need a sniper qualified medic. I heard you've been to sniper school." And I was like, "Actually, I've been." And he went, "You've been to 4 sniper schools." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to go to Safartech, our hostage rescue school, and do you want to go to Halo school?" Who would say those are like the 2 hardest schools to get in SF? So you see, even though I said, "Sorry guys, I can't go to Delta because my wife won't go live at Fort Bragg," because God loves Carl. I honestly do believe that. They stood up. They're not tier 1 like Delta is. Delta has the hostage rescue mission for the planet, but each SF group has one SIF company, Sinks in Extremis Force, called the CRE now, Crisis Response Force. And their job is to deal with it till Delta gets there. So they get the same training, they still get the JSOC budget, everything. So I still got to do the mission. The cool part is one of our first, this is again before the towers fell, a lot of the training we would do, we would go to Range 19, the Delta compound on the backside of Fort Bragg. I can't say that on the open internet because Delta doesn't exist. You know that, right? But the cool part, even more cool part, was after the initial invasion of Afghanistan, we come back and there was a same type thing, and we went to go train at Range 19. And I'm in there, and there's Rod Gorman. Rod Gorman is like, "Carl, is that you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's up? What are you doing?" And he's like, man, I really wish I was like, no, dude, as soon as I got home, they started the 5th Group SIF. We just got back from Afghanistan. Man, we did so much great stuff in Afghanistan. He's like, yeah, I know, man. You guys did more raids than we did, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, so, and he had put on a little bit of weight. And I'm like, so what are you doing now? He's like, dude, I'm on the dog teams. I do working canines now. I'm a contractor. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, dude, I got shot right through the side between my plates. He's like, I screwed up. Never turn your back or turn your side to an open doorway. You know that. I made that mistake. So anyway, guys, he's one of the only people in this world I wish I'd kept in contact with. Rod Gorman. Guys, you understand I'm not using his real name. That's why I paused there at the beginning, because I'm trying to come up with a cool synonym name for him. But Rod Gorman, when I came up with the name on visual, who was that basketball player with the rings? Rod.
Dennis Rodman.
No, the one with all the rings, like everything.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. That was it. That's who I'm. Anyways, yeah. Rod doesn't really look like Dennis Rodman, not at all. But we played a lot of basketball. We really did. Anyway, so to answer your question, Kyle and Annalise, me personally, I wanted to go to Delta, but I couldn't do it. So God gave me the next best thing, and He let me keep that balance between career and family, because family, you have to have that balance, guys. You really do. How about you, Steve? You ever think about going to Delta?
I work with those guys a lot. Haven't been, one of the older guys in group when we moved from Bragg to Fort Campbell. We had 2 different tactical elements within Special Forces back in the 80s that I was involved with. That was the green light teams and the blue light teams. So the blue light guys were out at Mott Lake, part of the Iran Desert One rescue situation, which created a national force.
I did not know you worked with blue light also. I knew you.
Yeah.
I knew you worked with green light. That's the suitcase nuke parachute guys.
Well, I wasn't on a blue light team, but
you worked around them. Because you were on Smoke Bomb Hill back then, right?
Yeah.
So that 5th group.
No, we were on Smoke Bomb Hill, but we were also over by Green Ramp at Pope.
Yeah.
The blue light teams, when they were training out of Mott Lake, the green light teams had to have more specialized capability than the average A team.
Yeah.
Well, not as much as anti-terrorist, counter-terrorist.
Yeah.
But we had to be better in a gunfight because of what we were protecting.
You're getting ready to go defend a nuke.
And so I was involved. I mean, oh my gosh, I went through so many sniper schools, sniper training, so I got to train with those guys. When they became Delta, they moved over to the Red River Ranch, or Red, what you call it?
I don't know.
I work with a lot of them in their CDD, their Combat Development Detachment Division, which was like the 5th Group Force Mod Office.
That's why you used to bump heads with those guys all the time.
All the time. and it's nothing against the squadrons, the troops.
Yeah.
Just the guys in the CDD, they always believed that if it wasn't thought of by them and funded and developed by them with industry, that it wasn't any good. And one of the things that we bumped heads on was the Mark 262 77 grain 5.56 and the 6.8 SPC. Me, Sean Redock, and somebody else, we did a demo for them out at Range 19, and we were shooting the Mark 12 Mod H in 6.8, and the squadron guys loved it. Mm-hmm. CDD guys hated it, And I couldn't figure out why, because the guys were shooting, a 16.5-inch Mark 12 Mod H 6.8 out to 600, and they were smoking it. And you can tell the difference in the energy on the impact.
Yeah, you hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't until like a year later I realized that the reason that they were resistant to what we were doing with the 6.8, and they used to sick the hounds on us, because Yusuf Sock and Yusuf Fick and those guys would always stop this 6.8 stuff, stop this 6.8 stuff. I didn't realize that they were involved until I found out later from a friend of mine that was over there, because they were developing the 300 blackout. I didn't know that. I said, man, why are these guys always fighting us on this 6.8 thing? So about, I think it's the next year, I got a letter from them. They said, hey, you got a letter. I was like, okay, you get a lot of letters.
Yeah.
And I didn't, who is that? Department of Defense, blah, blah, blah. And I opened it up, and it was an invitation to come to an orientation for me to consider going through the course. And I was like, wow, I'm honored. But no, I know. Because I had been around them enough,
Yeah.
stateside Okonas, to know that 5th Group was just as much as badass warfighters as they had. They just got more resources, more funding, more training. They didn't have to deal with the day-to-day actual soldier stuff that we had to deal with,
One thing I will say, working with the guys over at, and again, I only work with a couple of their squadrons, but you don't see any shitbags there. And everybody, the guys in the regular Army will tell you the same thing, that when you work with SF guys, Green Berets, that they're all good guys, and they're all, they're a higher tier quality of troops that make it through selection, then they go earn their Green Berets. Delta's the same way, but they're even pickier because it's a smaller unit. And I will admit, in SF there are, because they've got to make numbers, there's a lot of SF slots. There are guys in SF that make it through the pipeline that show up the group that should not be Green Berets. And a lot of them get kicked out. They get kicked out, but they still made it to group, and for the rest of their lives they can raise their hand and say, whoo, I got my Green Beret. There were a lot, you run into them every so often. But I never met a Delta guy that I didn't think was awesome. They were all awesome guys, and never had any gripes with them at all. Not at all. I think we'll, let's see if I got any new questions. I think that was my last one. I just had another one come in. All right. Again, guys, no, I was never in Delta. I was in, you'll hear me say A-15. Byron Russell was an assaulter in A-15 the same time I was the master sniper in A-15, and we did a lot of great stuff together. A lot of great stuff. All right. I actually got an email today I wanted to share with you guys. And this one right here. Hardwire, Carl Steve, what's a good way to remember which direction to turn your turrets? How do you keep track to make sure they get back to zero properly? My dials don't have a zero stop. Number one, leave the caps on them. What he's talking about, guys, is, I got a scope here, my new Kales. And this is an insane scope, guys. Frickin' insane. Now this one is backwards, actually, because they have, your focus knob is on the right. This is for competition shooters. This is actually made for precision rifle series. Your windage knob is right here, guys. And elevation knob, what his question is, how in the dark do you remember where zero is? How do you remember which way to turn? As far as remembering which way to turn those dials, One, don't own 50 different guns with 50 different scopes. That's the truth. Run one gun with one type of scope and master that scope. Get yourself a spare and run the same scope on it, all right? Same thing with your pistols, all right? Don't run 50 different kinds, all right? If you're dropping a lot of money, he mentioned zero stop, so that if you lose track, you can always come back to zero. Just spin it clockwise top. But again, some of them are anti-clockwise. But spin it clockwise, and that will bring you back down to zero. But how about if you're dialing? Now, what he's talking about dialing is going up minutes of angle or mils. Most of them are a tenth of mil radians, or they're in quarter MOAs. But how do you find that zero stop? All right, but how about if you're using this to come up for that competition? Competitions are shot during the day. Look at the number. There are actually, you can buy, believe it or not, magnifying glasses that clamp to your scope rings so that while you're right here behind the gun, you can read those numbers. Because like if your eyes are as bad as mine and Steve's are, from right here, I can't read those numbers. I gotta go like that. So they actually sell little magnifying glasses right there. Never used one. Why? Because I had 20/10 my whole time in the military. All right? I didn't need reading glasses when I was a sniper. But if you're dialing a BDC, I'll give you a hint, something I did. I did most of our ops in the dark. So how do you dial in the dark? How do you dial your scope? Back then we had Leopold Mark IVs, 3.5 to 10x scopes. They were nice. You got illuminated reticle. You got a UNS, Universal Night Sight, clip-on Gen 3 in front of it. How do you read your dials? And some guys were using these little pen lights. But you turn on a light, you understand the bad guys can see that light. You know what I did? You're going to laugh. They're going to laugh at me, Steve. It was Halloween. And you know they sell glow-in-the-dark fingernail polish? Seriously, a heart attack. Glow-in-the-dark fingernail polish. I went and painted all the way around all my numbers with glow-in-the-dark fingernail polish. And it worked good. It did. It didn't work great, but it worked good. What I finally ended up doing was buying luminous tape, like we'd have the cat eyes on the back of our hats or on the back of our helmets, the luminous cat eyes. And I cut an 1/8 of an inch strip and taped it all the way around and then super glued it. And I actually wrote the numbers on it with a pen where my holes had to be. And it allowed me to read it in the dark. And that's just, you'll never see that in the movies. I know it's not cool. I know a lot of you are going to say that's gay. Carl, why would you do that? That's so stupid. But I'm just telling you what worked for me. How well did it work? You can buy luminous tape down at Smith's Tailor Shop. Remember that? They sell the little cat eyes. I went online and I bought a whole sheet of luminous tape. And I have a whole sheet in my sniper data book. And then I made clear sheets to go in front of it. And I could be in the hide site completely dark. And I could write things down. I had that luminous sheet. And anyways, I found that it worked good for me. And then I got promoted again and I didn't need a data book anymore. So anyways, yeah, this is a scope I'm going to be doing a review on. It is a 3 to 23, 3 to 25, 3 to 25. Got a 36 millimeter tube, not a 30, not a 32, not a 34. So I want to thank the guys at KRG, because I was getting ready to buy a 36 millimeter scope mount. And the cheapest one I could find was $333. And I don't have that kind of money. The reality is I don't. So I reached out to the guys at KRG and they're like, Carl, I just happen to have one here made by Badger. And if you guys aren't familiar with Badger scope mounts, Badger makes awesome awesome scope mount. And so anyways, we got an upcoming video. I'm going to run it in the precision rifle class. When I say I will run it, I'll have it zeroed before class, and then I'll probably let one of the students run it through the course. So like if somebody like Kyle or somebody was to sign up for the course and they said, hey, Carl, I don't have a precision rifle. Can I borrow yours? I would probably let them borrow one of my guns with that scope on it because I need to get rounds through it. I need to see how it holds up. If not, I'll let Emery use it.
Something just popped into my head when we were talking about SFODD, Delta, whatever. And
we know they don't exist, guys. So just remember that's why we're not talking about this on the open internet because Delta doesn't really exist. That's like SEAL Team 6 and TF Orange and Aliens.
The Secret Army of Virginia.
Those guys don't exist. They don't exist.
So I'm up at Crane, myself and my right-hand man, Jay Johnson. And we're working the SOP mod program.
Jay was on my first A team. Good people.
And the Mark 12 program, et cetera, et cetera. So we're taking a break, and we were doing something, coming back for lunch, something like that. And Jay comes up front. Now we're in this huge building, 40,000 square feet, something like that. Jay comes up. He goes, Steve. I go, Jay. He goes, what you doing? I said, we're getting to go back in there. And he goes, 10 minutes. I need 10 minutes. I said, okay, Jay. He goes, I got to show you something. I said, okay. So he walks me out of the admin part, and we go over into the support part of the building where they got all kinds of Navy stuff, weapons, ammunition, all kinds of things that they're supporting the Navy with. And he walks me around this corner into this one little open bin area, and there's a pedestal sitting there with a minigun on it. And Jay says, what do you think? I go, yeah, it's a minigun, Jay. He goes, but that's a minigun for a boat, not for an aircraft. So
hence the birth.
I asked the guy, I can't remember his name, he's a great guy though. Few of the great guys up at Crane that were really into the soldiers and not just the programs. I said, hey, can I take pictures of this? He said, yeah, this is open source anyway. So I took some pictures of it and we went back, finished up the next 2 days doing SOC mod stuff. And came back the fifth group, and I'm back into my thing, running all these programs. And I was going through my pictures. I saw the picture of the minigun. I put it up on the internet. I was looking at it, I said, I called a guy back up at Crane. I said, you guys are running that off of the power from the boat, right? He says, yes, but we're trying to figure out, working with Dylan at the time, how to run it off of batteries. The new battery technology, lithium and stuff like that. I said, man, keep me apprised of how you guys, how this is working out. So about 8-9 months later, he calls me up and emails me something. Say, hey man, we kind of figured this out. You guys want to come see it? I said, yeah. So he we go back up there and they do a demonstration on the outdoor range. I said, okay. So I went back and called up the USAFIC, called up the USASOC, and I said, hey, we got a kind of a concept going on right here, and we just want to give you guys a heads up that we're going to submit an operational requirement for it. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, this is 2004. I mean, things are rolling. My mind is like, man, if we can get this thing on a up-armored Humvee, it'd be incredible. So, I did all the paperwork, at 8 o'clock at night, got all that done, submitted it. But, me being me, whenever I'm sending something up to people, I start calling people, talking to them. Yeah. I say, hey, man, I got something coming your way. I need you to take a look at this, need your support on it. And, of course, about 2 weeks later, we get an official reply in writing. God bless her, from Ms. Taylor and the rest of the crew up there. And it said, no. So,
Steve's not good on no. Steve's
no.
Real big on no.
I don't do no. Somebody once taught me no is a request for additional information. because I didn't convince you the first time around, so I need to add some more information to it, right? So we
And the whole time I'm sitting there, he said 2004, and we got miniguns in 2004 in Iraq. So I know this is a success story. Oh yeah.
So
Battle in the Joff. Yeah.
So
Battle of Fallujah.
we're sitting there working on it, and I pick up the phone, and I call up to Pentagon, the DC. I said, hey, I need some help. They said, what's going on? I said, let me send you this requirement, and then you tell me if you could work with me on it. So I set it up, got a phone call the next day. He said, hey, I got your paperwork. He said, yeah. He said, proceed. I'm not going to call his name. I'll tell you later. But so I said, Jay, this is what we're going to do. So we drove up there, got the system, brought it back, and Rick Renault, he was Rick was our civilian fabrication modification guy with former Indy background, Indy racing, and if you wanted something to be put on a vehicle that was non-standard, Rick was the guy.
Yeah.
So I said, hey guys, this is what we need to be able to do. Okay, we need to be able to run this off of battery power, off of vehicle power, and if the vehicle power goes down, which turns out it came out in handy for 10th Group a year later, if the vehicle power goes down, we need to be able to run these things off of batteries. They said, okay. And I said, this is going to be a gun truck. This is not going to be a Humvee, an Obama Humvee, M1114, that belongs to a team. This is going to belong to the group, and the group will dole it out as they see fit. So we got in there. Rick is working fabrication, and we take it out to Range 51 with Mr. White, and we run this thing and invited all the teams that were back, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" So of course, I make a phone call. I said, "Hey, we got this thing working. Can I send it overseas?" Guy said, "You can do what you want to." So we sent it over to Baghdad. It was the first one, and history is history. In their letter that they sent back to our requirement, stating that it was not going to be supported. It was not something that could be made to happen. In that letter, it said SFODD has pursued this for the last 5 years, and it doesn't work. And I remember sending them an email saying, "Hey, reference your letter to our requirement, blah 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 blah, saying that you won't support it because Delta's tried it and they couldn't get it to work." I said, "We are fifth group." That's it. On the email, I just said, "We are fifth group. Watch us soar." And so the next phone call I ever got back from them said, "Hey,"
I bet you.
next phone call I ever got back from them said, "Hey, there's an investigator coming from SOCOM to investigate you for sending an unauthorized minigun system into the war zone." Oh my gosh, man!
By then, guys, we had so many miniguns. It was awesome. Now, 2009, December, I brought a troop over to Mosul. We were attached to Delta. I want to say D Squadron or something, whatever. They had their Benz Gawas, their up armored vehicles. We were running Strikers. And we had remote weapon systems, RWSs with 50 cals. And when we were driving out, and they had remote weapon systems with 50 cals on their Benz Gawas. But they had one Benz Gawa parked there that had a minigun on it, right? No, they weren't using it. It had a regular turret. It wasn't hooked up to a remote weapon system. I think that's why they weren't using it. But, I know that they had them.
Yeah.
They had them after fifth group got them.
And the crazy thing is, we sent that one over, and I sent John Vandenbosch over because I always made sure Jay and I stayed back. Because, both of us were like, "Hey, man, let's go over to see the soldiers. Go see you." So I said, "Jay, you know what? As much as I want to, who's going to answer the mail from the guys in the fight. So we sent that one over with Vandenbosch, and
Vandenbosch.
I guess it must have been maybe not even 4 weeks later that they called me over to the S3. They said, "Hey man, you need to come over here. You got a message from the Siege of Soft. You need to come into the skiff and go secure. They want to talk to you right now." And so I got in there, called the guy, said, "Hey, what time is it over there?" Time, okay, got him online. I go, "Hey, what's going on?" And I think it was the deputy J3. He said, "Hey, that system you sent over, blah blah blah." I said, "Yeah." He said, "It works. The guys like it." I said, "Roger that, sir. I'm glad to hear that. I'll let everybody know who's involved in it." He goes, "We need 5. I go, 5. He goes, "We need 5 complete minigun systems." I said, "Sir, do you understand that is not an official system yet? That's a complete system with a truck attached to each gun system. So that's like saying I need 5 miniguns and 5 up-armored Humvees because the guns have to be built into the truck, blah, blah, blah." He goes, "That's Son Holland?" I said, "Yes, sir. We need 5 systems. There's a C5 leaving Fort Campbell coming to us in about 4 weeks. We expect to see 5 gun trucks roll off that C5 when it gets here to Bagram." I mean, not Bagram.
Balad. They were in
Balad. And so I called Jay up. I said, "Jay, we got some work to do." And when those 5 systems got over there, that's when they started the investigation.
Oh, yeah.
You know why they started it? Because someone who was living next door to our guys were like, "Where did you guys get those from?
We want one.
We tried this 5 years ago and it didn't work." I said, "We 5th group."
We're 5th group. All right. Without further ado, as asked, what's the ideal bullet weight for 6.8 SPC?
In my opinion, because I mean there are some good loads out there. Yeah. The federal load that they load for the Saudis, that got that 90 grain fusion. That's a smoker, but that's for PDWs. The general purpose ideal weight is 115 grains.
There you go, 115 grains.
And you don't need a 1 in 7 twist. I'd probably run a 1 in 9.
All right, Jonathan Camps threw down $5 minus shipping and handling. Thanks, Carl and Steve. All you have done and still do for Warriors. Prayers for Emory. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Johnny threw down 10 bones with a 1 with a couple balloons around it. All right. Okay. That's a 1. That's a 1. No question. No question. All right,
okay. Let me jump on this while I'm thinking about it.
Dude. You go, boy.
In another episode of the 5th Group Force Mod Office, captained by Master Sergeant Steve Holland, we were doing some work with Surefire because Surefire, we got Surefire into the SOC mod program, and we got them into making suppressors and stuff like that. Paul Kim, the king of Proton King, the head engineer of Surefire, came to visit us, and we were having dinner one night at Hooters in Clarksville, and Paul had this big ass light. I said, "Paul, what the hell is that?" He goes, "This is
Hellfire."
Well, it wasn't called that then. And it had this big light. I'm talking about big light. And
it's bigger than that.
Bigger than that.
It's big. The puppy's big.
It took 10 DL123s to run this light. So he's bragging on his light. He picks it up and he throws it across the parking lot hard as he could. And it landed 30, 40 yards away, hit the asphalt, spun around, and it was still beaming. This huge light. I could see the Red River and the trees probably 200 or 300 yards away. And I'm watching this thing. I'm thinking, we can do something with that.
Put that on a
minigun. I came back. I said, "Jay, I got an idea, man." So we got with Paul, and I said, "Paul, This thing has to go on a 50 cal, the Mark 44 minigun system, and we want to run it off of vehicle power, but if the vehicle power fails, we want the light to still work. So he built a support. Him and Rick. Rick got up there and built the mount and got all this stuff going. And I remember sending it over to...
Rick's the guy that built the front bumper on my Jeep, guys. He's still around. Rick is good people.
Rick would know. So we sent this light overseas, and I called up John Vanderbosch. I said, John, in your distractive work of looking for whatever you were doing over there, other than the stuff we sent you for.
Yeah,
I said,
John's always out looking for a gunfight. You just walk around the whole country with a sniper rifle, asking for work.
Yeah,
fucking hilarious.
John had his own island.
Yeah.
I said, John. So I called over and I said, hey, so how's the light working out? They said, well, the guys don't like it. They don't want to use it. They say, hey, man, it's bright. It's great. They said, hey, you turn the thing on, everything's coming at you. Everybody going to shoot at the light. I said, well, at least try it, So when they were prepping the guns, zeroing the guns, they put it on a Modus. And the guy that put it on there said, you know what, I'm going to leave it on. About 6 or 7 days later, they got in a vehicle ambush, and then some other vehicles are coming down the road, and everybody's like, which vehicle is it? Which vehicle is it? The guy goes, fuck, man, I got a light. He turns on the light, and everybody in the whole convoy was like, oh, I see it. And they lit this truck up, and it turned out it had a VBID in it. So I get this phone call. They say, hey, go over to Skip, blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, what's up? What's going on? They said, hey, you know that light? I said, yeah. I said, we need 25 more. I said, you do realize that is the first and only prototype that is in existence. So I called up Surefire. I said, Paul, I need 25 lights. Which lights, Steve? Steve, any light you want. You can pay for them or you can have them. I said, Paul, no. We pay for what you guys provide to us. I said, but I'm not talking about your standard lights for SOC models, something like that. I said, we need then it became
the Hellfire.
It had to change it to Hellfighter because the Hellfire missile people said you can't use our name.
Yeah.
So he goes, oh, the big one. I said, yeah. He goes, Steve, how many do you need? I said, I need 25. And he just got quiet. He goes, Steve, you realize that is the only one? I said, Paul, I need 25. I'm going to have my contracting lady call your contracting lady.
I've got a C5 leaving.
Yeah, I got a C5 leaving in 4 weeks. And he thought I was kidding. Then he called me the next day. He goes, Steve, we received the contract, and they pay us what we ask. I said, you got 25 days. I got 30 days. You got 25. So we ended up sending another, I think maybe 11 lights. And the guys just, man, those guys will pull up behind you in a convoy. He said, when you hit him with that, I think that light was like five. So that light was 5,000 lumens. They would hit the brake, swerve off the road. Because, you get hit with it. I had the guys hit me with it one time, probably like 100 yards away. Yeah. And I could almost feel it when they turned the light on. So that was, the kind of success stories we would have. But then, there was a lot of ones stuff that we would come up with, stuff we developed that, didn't make it through. But, the ones that I thought would have taken, 3 or 4 years through the procurement system, it was like overnight.
Combat zone. We need
and I got the Mark 262 done, but I couldn't crack the code on the 6.8 because of the guys behind the fence working on the 300 blackout, and they have access to all the hallways of the commands at Bragg. And nothing against the guys and the troops and the squadrons, but the people at Bragg are like, oh my gosh, it's them. It's them. They're in our building. I'm like, dude, you never say that when 5th Group walks in here. And we're the shit,
Tracker asked a question. Carl Steve, have you ever used Molly coating on your bullets?
Funny you would ask. when I was doing the Mark 262 program and the 6.8 program, we worked with, man, I can't remember the name of the company or the guy I dealt with for almost 2 or 3 years. We monocoated a lot of our bullets. We also we coated a lot of our bullets with MP3. The monocoating, I mean, it had its advantages because, I mean, we put it through real testing, not what you see on the internet where some guy says, hey, I got this thing and I tested it. You didn't test it, you reviewed it. Tests have protocols, and you have to follow the protocols. I mean, salt, fog, salt water, freezing temperatures, hot temperatures. I mean, everything. That's how the government does it. Molly didn't do as well because we had to clean the barrel more so than we did with MP3. MP3 was awesome. MP3 allowed us to almost push the pressure up another 15%, which increased the velocity because there was less
drag in the barrel.
Less drag going through the barrel. But of course, that was one of the battles that I didn't win because we were asking the Army to accept this as standard across the board, which they didn't want to do because they didn't think of it first. But I mean, Molly, if I was running Molly bullets through a sniper rifle, it has its advantages. If I was going to run a fight gun, it would be MP3. But through a sniper rifle, either one, they definitely had advantages of reducing the drag of the bullet going through the bore.
All right, Tracker has a couple other questions. One is 300 Win Mag an effective round? Yes. I mean, it's. But then he goes on, is 300 Win Mag still being used in the U.S. SOCOM? Remember, Big Army switched the M24s. They switched them to 2010s.
Yeah.
And,
asking if 300 Win Mag is an effective round is like asking someone if a Ford F-150 is an effective truck. It's a Ford F-150.
It's a Ford F-150.
It's a 300 Win Mag.
It's 300 Win Mag.
It's a 300 Win Mag.
Yeah, it's a 300 Win Mag.
We, my gosh, I should write a book.
Right,
we did 300 Win Mag. I first started doing 300 Win Mag with the unit back in 1985. Again, back then we had a master trainer program. There was a master trainer for scuba, master trainer for Halo, master trainer. And I was a master trainer for snipers before we moved to Campbell. And that was because of the green light mission. So one of the things we were able to do, we told them, I said, hey, we had M21s, the old...
It's an accurized version of the M14,
14.
guys. Semi-auto. I actually carried one in Desert Storm, believe it or not.
For our mission,
Yeah.
it wouldn't cut it. So we ended up, I worked with the late, great Jake Jakovenko out of Lakehurst, and we ended up with Macmillan 380 Win Mags for the Green Light sniper teams. And so we've been running 380 Win Mags since 1985, 86, all the way to, coming to Campbell. I ran a 380 Win Mag in Desert Storm. There are more effective cartridges out there now. But at the same time, keep in mind, with the vehicles, nobody runs carburetors anymore. They run fuel injection. But do carburetor vehicles still work? Yes, they do. People are running 300 to 338 Normas now. They're more effective than 300 Win Mag. But will 300 Win Mag still put your dick in the dirt if you get hit by one?
Of course.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
So it is definitely still an effective round. And a lot of times it comes down to what is your requirement? What is your mission? What is your requirement? Okay? I mean,
you can build a 300 Win Mag, good ammo, through a good barrel, and it will outshoot a lot of 338 Lapuas, 300 Normas, a lot of other guns where people are just running off-the-shelf crappy ammo. But if you're taking the best of the best barrel, best of the best ammo, 300 Win Mag is just not going to hold its own against a 300 Norma. Basically, a 300 Norma, guys, is a 338 Norma casing, monstrous casing, neck down to a 30 caliber projectile. That's a lot longer than a 300 Win Mag because it has that extra. The chamber's made different, and it's got a better ballistic coefficient, a lot more gunpowder behind it, and it's stuff has changed. Yeah. That's all. But if you're running a 300 Win Mag and you're running good ammo, you're not just buying crap Remington hunting soft points for whitetail deer. You're going to get good groups with it at distance for sure.
Yeah, our 300 Win Mags were built by Macmillan, which was the company that there was a Macmillan stock company, and there was a Macmillan gun company in Phoenix, Arizona. They made their own action, which is very similar to the Remington 700 action. We ran 26-inch barrels. Our ammo was 190 grain Sierra Match King, loaded long, and that 190 was doing about probably about 2,850 feet per second. And it had a BC, I remember the BC was like maybe 375, 380 or something like that. And you got to remember that before the oncoming of the 6.5 calibers, the 6.5 284, and then the 6.5 Lapua,
the Creedmoors,
and everything else. The U.S. Army Marshalship Unit, they controlled the 1,000-yard matches at Camp Perry for maybe 25 years, shooting 300 Win Mags. Then they went to 6.5 284, and then I think they're running Creedmoors now. But just keep in mind, for 20-something years, nobody had ever come in first, second, or third place, maybe, other than the AMU shooters with 300 Win Mags. So again, it's still an effective capability. Kinetic energy is kinetic energy. If you put that on, you put the 190 grain Sierra Match King, we actually developed, when I was running the sniper school, we developed a semi-automatic 300 Win Mag. Now, this is before, now today you got AR-15 300 Win Mags, blah, blah, blah. Back then, we were talking, Somalia was 1990, 91? No, 93, 94, something like that. There's only two 300 Win Mag semi-automatics in existence. That was a Browning BAR, which is the hunting rifle, not the World War II squad automatic weapon. And this company in Europe had 300 Win Mag. We took the Browning 300 Win Mag hunting rifle, and John Clemens up at Crane, who was one of the master gunsmiths, we had those rifles built into semi-automatic tactical rifles for Somalia. And Randy Wurst, Randy and his dad, God bless his dad, Randy and his dad bought two of the civilian versions from the company that we contracted to build from the prototype that John Clemens made from us based on all the specs that I drew up.
Very cool. Very cool.
And Harvey Seals, God bless him. That name comes up because Harvey, I'll tell you something. When you got a good shooter on a 300 Win Mag semi-automatic, and you have a high population of bad guys running around, and this guy is sitting back like 800 or 900 meters, and oh my gosh, when you can hear the impact on target at 800 meters, that's just something you can't. You just go, I can still hear that today, 35, 40 years. And Harvey, I mean, Harvey was one of those guys. Harvey was like a John Vanden Bosch, but somebody that you could make sense to him. You say, Harvey, it's been 3 days. We want you, when the security guys sweep through that area tomorrow, we want you to fall in line and come back to the fucking compound. Because I mean, oh my gosh, man, when you got something like that where you don't have to work the boat. And I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, 300 win bag will get it done.
Without a doubt. Hey guys, you got anything else you want to go over tonight? You did Honey Badger.
No, I've got some M118 LR polymer, but we can do it.
We'll do that. We'll do that next week.
Yeah, we can do it next week.
Or the week after.
Yeah, hey guys. But anyway, on the Black Hills Honey Badger, 4570. It's a 325 grain bullet at 1,775 feet per second. Ooh. Cowboy action loads in 4570 is 405 grain lead at, I think, 900 feet per second. The hunting ammo, 350 grain jacketed hollow points that most guys use, that's at about 1,200 feet per second. This is a 325 at 1,775 feet per second. Think about that for a moment. The old cowboy loads were doing about 850, 900 feet per second at 405 grains. This thing is 225 grains doing 1,775 feet per second.
Tracker came back, said, thanks, Steve, for the info. I'm getting tight groups with 200 grain Game King bullets. Why are you asking us then if it's a good it's a good round, guys? Like I said, it's the F-150 of bullets. Hey guys, we're gonna wrap it up this week. All right. We've had us a good live stream tonight. It's always great hanging out with you guys. And yeah, sincerely, I'm gonna let Steve do parting words of wisdom.
Parting words of wisdom. In all things in life, be patient. There's a lot of things going on in this country. A lot of impatient people. Have patience.
That all?
Give God the opportunity to do His work and His will and His time. Sometimes you see things and you go, that doesn't make any sense. Sometimes you have to let it play out. Okay? Let it play out.
All right, guys. Real quick, again, I want to let everybody know next week's classes are on sale. I've still got slots left if you want to sign up, tacticalrifleman.com. And then our next batch of classes is April. And we'll be in Texas there. Those classes, pistol, carbine. Then we come back to Kentucky for the second week of April. Is precision rifle, tactical precision rifle. That class is on sale right now also. Going to be a great time. And anyways, if you're interested in more classes, you want to hang out with us, you can check out our calendar and classes at tacticalrifleman.com. I want to give a shout out and thank you to all of my patrons for all your support, guys. We could not keep this channel afloat without you guys. We wouldn't stand a chance, not at all. But that goes for all you guys. Indeed, thank you for hanging out with us here. And I want to give a big shout out to my moderators. Indeed, I need them to help me run this. Indeed. So anyways, that's all I got for you. I don't think we're going to do one next week because I'm going to be in classes all week. So it'll be the following Tuesday. Yeah, let's plan on doing that. All right. I'll see you then. Y'all take care and shoot straight.
Incoming right there.